this man. And this man's name is Pullum. And Pullum is the Rupali of the Tendi, so the leader of the Ngarrindjeri governance of Tendi. And Pullum is our grandfather. And so we're all connected in this community. We might see eye to eye, but we're all connected. Because we're different. So Pullum would lead people back here through George Taplin, through the Aboriginal Friends Association, who is the ecumenical group, that would suggest that we can help these people. And if you read the plaque over there, it would tell you how they instructed us to be wonderful Christians. Suggesting that we're because we look a little bit different. We live in houses that are not quite the same. We don't wear the same clothing. So we've got to make them the same as us, or that period from 1901 to 66, which is called similar to us, or assimilation. And then we could look like we're just walking down the streets of Chicago. In the 1920s, because that's what people look like in the 1920s. So clothing can make us look similar. Language can make us sound similar. So, don't you dare go talking in that Ngarrindjeri language, that Ngarrindjeri Yanan can. So we wasn't able to talk in our language. So it was made a policy. And a lot of people in our country don't understand that. That if people talk language on this community, they could go to jail for speaking language. So our land was taken, we removed off all of our land and put in here. So there's 800,000 square kilometres there, and we all would be living in here on the mission or on the fringe of communities. There would be little fringe camps 1 mile out of town or 3 miles out of town. So some people would say, Ken, did you grow up on the 1 mile or 3 miles? And Ken would say, I grew up 1 mile. My mother would say, I grew up 3 miles. 3 mile where, Mum? 3 mile Tagalog, or Tagalog in our language. Oh, so what's fringe? Oh, on the fringe of community, but not part of the community. So they can come in. Language is important, so listen when I say it. They could come in. At 5 o'clock, they better be out. Or, who chooses that? The police that. And so, it's a law. And people could be put in jail for. Now when you think about Aboriginal Australia today and the amount of people in the justice system and the over-representation of Aboriginal people, think about our history. For 170 years, there's a certain way that you have to treat these people. Now remember I'm saying to you, we've all been shaped. Even our justice system has been shaped for all those years on our tribunal with the First Nations people and issues and the First Nation problem. And so we've had a justice system that has been shaped year by year by year by year to the point that in this country we're 3% of the nation, but in the I'm working with people now on justice reinvestment in our country. It has that much of an impact in our community. Over 30% of our kids in our juvenile justice area are First Nations. In South Australia, over 50% of the women in prison are First Nation. In the male justice system, well over 35% are First Nation. For 3% of the nation, that is difficult for me to understand. I know we're not that criminal. I know it. Something is wrong in the system that has been shaped in our country. But our country will never say it. Because it's ingrained. Just like we've all been shaped for this period of time. You thought it was just First Nations people? It's all of us. We've all been shaped about these three things. What we think, what we believe, and how we act. If the 170 years has been spent on us shaping us to be like you or others, then 170 years has also been spent on others about why we spend that much time trying to change the way people think. So we have to think it. We have to believe it. And whether we like it or not, we're acting it out when we don't even know it. It's really important to get our heads around that, because this is all happening to all of us, not just some of us. George Taplin, as far as Aboriginal Friends Association was concerned, as part of his job, he would have to write in the journal every day. His journals are in Adelaide Museum, and people can go and read. He lived for 20 years, and then he died. And our men buried him, and our women, and he's buried in our cemetery. And you see Pullum is still there by his side, 20 years later. So we think Pullum wasn't a young man when he bought him here from our own Ngarrindjeri country. So they come across Point Sturt, across the lake, to Point Macleay at the back there. So Point Sturt, Point Macleay. But we've always been Raukkan. So it just changed, yeah. So this is the interesting thing with language too. How did you get that name? You know, like, what's your name? How'd you get that name? Well, there's something going on before that name. So just the way we think about it. Why did we name our kids that? It comes from somewhere. Yeah? Do we ever really look into those things or even ask ourselves the question? Oh yeah, when it comes up. You know, so there's lots of conversations that we're going through that's shaping things in our own lives, let alone the lives of the communities we live in or the places that we visit. Or then we go looking at places and, oh, it'd be interesting to go and have a look at that place and just find out what they're all about. And then people come to Raukkan and all of a sudden we're talking about all of us. Not just